Hey YouTube, today we've got an interesting brew from the Czech Republic, Bernard Brewery. It's the Bernard Free. Bernard Brewery was established in 1991 when Stanislav Bernard decided to buy the bankrupt Humpolec Brewery, sort of in the middle central part of Czech Republic. And since that time, it's pretty much gone from strength to strength. Now this is a beer that is pretty well known in the Czech Republic. Recently, they've sort of had a partnership with Duvel, the Belgian brewery, which is very well known. So I think we're going to see more and more of this brand popping up. So if we check out the packaging, it's got this pretty funny dude on it. The branding in Czech, there's Bernard with a clean head, and I guess that's the reason there's bald dudes on it. Bernard's known for a bit of controversial advertisements, so that fits with it. I sort of don't get why it says year 1597. I guess that's when the Humpolec Brewery was established, because that's not when Bernard was established. But I guess seeing they bought that brewery, they're just claiming that they're that old. Maybe sells more beers, who knows. Pretty nice cap. Generally their bottles are pretty elaborate, and you can see in the glass, it's printed on there. Pretty nice glass. When I smell this beer, the first thing I think about is coffee, which is sort of weird. It has this sort of like, I think, it's definitely hops in this. I don't know how they've managed to do this, but it smells really hoppy and a little bit coffee-like. Much looks like a Pilsner sort of beer. I guess we're in the Czech Republic, so that makes sense. You know, it's carbonation, it's not too intense, but it's there. Got a fairly decent, like one finger sized head on it. Poured it semi-aggressively, so yeah, not bad. I said this smelled very hoppy. It's not really there in the taste. Yeah, this beer is pretty plain to start with, and then afterwards we start to taste that caramelization. That's pretty typical for Czech beer, so seeing this originated in the Czech Republic and is mostly sold in the Czech Republic, it's pretty normal. I guess they're trying to recreate that feel. Something I've been noticing with these non-alcoholic beers is you sort of need to let them sit for a little while, because if you drink them on the first taste, you get this really weird flavour. And I think it's the gas. I think they're putting gas in there to carbonate it. And you really taste that. Whereas after you let it sit a bit, that sort of dissipates and you get a much nicer tasting beer. The feel of this is quite heavy. I can really feel it. I don't know, it seems to be like a more dense beer. And like I was saying with the taste, it's got a bit of bite to it. So yeah, it's quite interesting actually. Yeah, so this was pretty interesting beer. Like I said at the start, it tasted pretty different the longer I drank it. I'm not sure why. I have a feeling it's to do with how they're carbonating this beer. So if you buy this beer, I would pour it out. Definitely pour it out. Don't leave it in the bottle. Pour it out and try and let that gas dissipate a little bit, and you're going to end up with a much nicer beer. In saying that, this beer is pretty typical for a Czech beer. It's not too much flavour. It's pretty plain really as you take your first sip, and then it has an aftertaste that really lets you taste that caramelization. Czech food normally is pretty heavy, and this would be a good accompaniment to sort of a heavy meal. But Czechs are known for drinking a lot of beer, and they pretty much drink it anywhere. So, if you want a beer for when you're out on the bike or after sport, this is going to do the job. So, that's Bernard. That's free. I've got a few more other Bernards in the fridge, which I'll be reviewing over the next week or two. So, subscribe, and see you next time.